Hey everybody, welcome to Bucketman Scouting. Today I'm going to be doing a film breakdown on Osiris Torrence. He is 6'5", 332 pounds guard out of the University of Florida. I'm going to get into his strengths and weaknesses real quick. The strengths and weaknesses I will provide you today are strictly my own. So let's get into that. So his first strength is big athlete with good bulk and a filled out frame. Stays balanced and doesn't overextend in pass protection. Stays disciplined with good bend and leverage. Strength number 2, awareness is above average for his limited experience. Sells trap blocks and can turn to seal fluid, getting to and adjust at the second level. Strength number 3, above average football smarts and general intelligence. Plays with a nasty streak, solid character, and work ethic. Strength number 4, solid positional run blocker who flashes the nasty demeanor and killer instinct scouts covet. And then his final strength, has the feet to adjust when he anticipates what's coming, effective trapping and bends at the knees with adequate core strength to absorb the bull rush, can clear a path at the second level if hits the target. So I'm going to get into his weaknesses. Weakness number 1, doesn't move well laterally. And then his final weakness, my apologies, attacks when necessary, though he won't consistently dominate and can lose balance overextending. So this guy is an elite run blocker, in my personal opinion. I have him as the best guard in this draft. To me, the system that he fits the most in is more of that power gap running style. More of what Bill Belichick runs in New England, more what the Baltimore Ravens run. Teams like that are consistent with having big physical interior offensive linemen that can bully people. Once Osiris Torrence gets his hands on you, it is very hard for you to get off of him. His hands are very elite, and I will show that in this film review today. Now, if the Denver Broncos stuck to a fucking system, sorry for my French, and actually had a identity like what Sean Payton ran in New Orleans, I would be ecstatic if we had a first-round pick and we drafted this guy. But you don't have a first-round pick, so he will never, ever be a Denver Bronco. He will not be drafted by the Denver Broncos. So, Denver Bronco fans, I'm sorry to break your hearts. Osiris Torrence will probably be picked up by a team that actually covets offensive linemen and offensive linemen that fit a system and guys like this. So let's get into his film review. This is against Louisville. So right here, he's in a 3-point stance, number 54. And you're going to see once he gets his hands on you, watch, and that breastplate's right there. Once he clamps those hands on you, it's very hard for you to move off of him. He has one of the most locked down hands in this year's draft. Also, his footwork is exceptional. I like the choppy feet. I love the wide base, and I like how he's low to the ground, sitting like in a chair. That's what you want to see. This is a perfect technique drill that if you're an offensive line coach, you really wanted to show your offensive linemen, especially on film, what a good offensive guard looks like. Osiris Torrence could be that perfect example for you. Bam. This guy reminds me a lot of Brandon Brooks, who played for the Eagles and then injuries derailed his career later. I think that this guy has that type of skill set. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the wide base. Look at the feet work. Look at where his hands are. They're on that breastplate. And I told you guys, it's very hard for especially interior defensive linemen to get off of him, because once he clamps those big physical hands on you, it's over. Very good, very good, very good. I love it. Footwork is exceptional. Feet work, bam. You're going to see right here, look at the feet work. Look at the choppiness, and then as you see how he gets his hands on you, bam, right there on the breastplate. That's what you want to see. That is exactly what you want to see from an interior offensive lineman. He is a big physical force, and if you ran right behind him, your your running back would get a lot of yardage. Now on this play right here, 3-point stance, good choppy feet. Love it, love it, love it. Look at the feet, look at the feet, look at the base. See those hands? Perfect. Now this is against Georgia, so they're going against better competition, especially in the front seven. Here he is right here, Cyrus Torrence. Gets 96. Perfect. Look at that. Look at that choppiness. Look at the footwork. Look at him standing his ground. I told you, once he gets his hands on him, it's over. Look at that. Perfect. That is perfect. That is perfection. Watch his hands. He's in a 3-point stance, and watch his footwork. Watch the choppiness right there. Gets off of it. And I really like the initial contact for my offensive lineman, feeling what that defensive lineman's going to do, especially in the interior. You see a lot of offensive linemen nowadays using that hand to feel what the defensive line's going to do. Right there. You see how he's kind of pushing out right there? Pointing it out right there. He's kind of figuring out what that defensive lineman's going to do. And then watch the choppiness of watch the footwork right here. And once he gets his hands, bam, it's over. Perfect on the breastplate, everything. That's what you want from your offensive lineman. Footwork is exceptional. Look at that. Hopping around like a rabbit, but he's planting his feet, standing his ground, giving Anthony Richardson all the time in the world to throw the football, just like what you saw in the Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. That is perfection at its finest. Okay, right here. There he is. Footwork are too close together for my liking. And I will say this about O'Cyrus Torrence. He's not the most polished pass-protecting guard in this draft, in my personal opinion. I think Steve Avila is a better pass protector than O'Cyrus Torrence. But the one thing O'Cyrus Torrence has over a guy like Steve Avila is more of the downhill physical technique work that I look for, especially if you're running a certain type of scheme. He would fit perfectly. Again, he does get stagnant, but again, I like how he stands his ground. He's keeping those feet, chopping those feet. I told you guys, once he gets his hands on that certain individual, it's very hard for you to get off of him. So that's a good recovery type of play by O'Cyrus Torrence. Gets his hands on the shoulder pads, then brings it back down, gets his hands underneath those shoulder pads, and you're going to see how he recovers too. He keeps that back foot. Watch this back foot here. Plants it. Comes right there. Perfection. Perfection. Okay, against Tennessee right here, number 54. 3-point stance. See, this is what a 2-point stance is, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what a 3-point stance is. Right there. There you go. That is great pass protection work from. Watch his feet. Chopping it. And I like how, and I want to see more of this. I want to see O'Cyrus Torrence get that initial contact more. That is one of the things that O'Cyrus Torrence I've noticed on film is he waits for the guy to come at him. Get that initial contact. I want to see you get at him like that. So that's what I want to see more out of from O'Cyrus Torrence. I want to see him more polished. And I think going to the right system would help elevate his game even more. He reminds me so much of Brandon Brooks. Like, he has that Brandon Brooks level of physicality that I'm looking for in my interior offensive lineman. Watch how he gets that initial contact first. Watch. Bam, right there. Doesn't wait for him. Goes right at him. Has a good wide base. Gets those hands on him on the breastplate. Chopping his feet. Not getting bullied. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay, right here on this play. Here he is right here, 3-point stance. And the reason I keep pointing out in a 3-point stance because a lot of people don't understand what the 3-point stance is. So I just want everybody to understand, what the 2-point stance looks like and what the 3-point stance looks like, because a lot of people don't really know. Here he is right here. Okay, I want to see that initial contact. Perfect. Yes. That's what I want to see more. That's what I want to see. I want to see him get the initial contact. I want to see him get the initial contact on the interior defensive lineman. Instead of waiting for him, go right at him. Establish your physicality. Establish your dominance. Love it. Look how perfect. That's what I want to see. Okay, right there, wide base. There you go. Now, I will say this too. Another weakness of mine for Osiris Torrence, what I have for him is when he's going to be facing, especially the defensive tackle pool and the interior defensive line pool in the NFL is just exceptional with certain teams. So if he's going against a team like the Philadelphia Eagles, for example, he needs to get more polished, because if they are going to do that rip move, especially interior-wise, a lot of the times a guy like Fletcher Cox or Jordan Davis is going to expose Osiris Torrence in that. He needs to get better at chopping his feet more, getting that wide base, establishing his physicality, getting that dominance, getting his hands on him in the proper technique way. Because if they're going to... Here, I'm going to show you guys right about there. If they're going to do that rip move, Osiris Torrence is going to get beaten all day long, especially with an elusive defensive end. So if he's going against a guy like a Eric Armstead, who's not, a big physical presence interior-wise, and a guy like Ed Oliver too, who are not big, they use a lot of their athleticism and their elusive technique work to get past interior defense alignment. If they're going to do a rip move, most of the time they're going to win this battle, because defensive tackles in the NFL are more prevalent than ever. I'm talking about guys like DeForest Buckner, Vita Veas, Ed Olivers, Fletcher Coxes, guys like that, Chris Jones, guys like that are just these big physical behemoths. And again, I love the play, but again, he needs to get, if this guy was a guy like Chris Jones, for example, and he did that rip around move, it would be over for Osiris Torrence. So I want to see him get better with that. So this is my film review on Osiris Torrence. There's a lot to like about this guy. I think he's going to be a first-round pick. I think a team is going to covet him. And unfortunately, the Denver Broncos won't be getting a guy like this, the guy of his caliber. So let me know what you guys think in the comment sections below, and have a good day.